Hi YouTube. So this is Angelic Ray coming at you again at Angelic Soul 11. So welcome back. Alright, so I want to do a quick simple video in regards to Mars and Venus being in Virgo. Recently we had Mars transition into Virgo, and today we had Venus transiting into Virgo. And I really wanted to touch on this subject because that's really like masculine and feminine energy. While we are still in the middle of Virgo, in Leo season, going towards the ending of it, pretty much it's clearing the slate out, clearing that energy from the heart chakra out, and bringing us into transit with Virgo energy, okay? And so I'm going to be giving you different aspects and characteristics of Mars and Venus, what they would be like in their shadow side. I'm sorry about that. There we go. What it would be like with Mars and Venus in their shadow side, and what it would be like with them in their conscious side, right? So like lower vibrations versus higher vibrations in a sense, or what may be in the subconscious for you to kind of learn to deal with and bring up to the your consciousness to vibrate higher, okay? So Mars is a very impactful energy, very fiery, very masculine energy. And unconsciously, with Mars energy being in Virgo, it can lead you to want to have a strong, high demand for being right as opposed to being correct in situations. So what I mean by that is like really just feeling like any conversations you may have with people, or like anytime you open your mouth or you say or do something, you're gonna assume a position that you are doing right for yourself. It doesn't matter if it's right for anybody else. It doesn't matter what anybody else feels. You're right, everybody else is wrong, and everybody else has to just deal with you, right? That's kind of like a shadow side of Mars energy in Virgo in a sense, right? Just that demand of being right, which is not really the same as being correct and then demanding respect because you were correct. That's a little bit different, and even with that, it's a very thin line to cross, so you have to be very mindful, okay? And another subconscious or unconscious characteristic of Mars in Virgo is alienating others by taking everything what they say and do personally. Like, you know, others around you may be going through this shift as well, and you know, they may do something that doesn't really leave you comfortable, or doesn't really leave you with a good taste in your mouth in a sense. And rather than you consider the fact that it may be something that they are going through in their healing process at this time, that they may be going through in this healing process at this time, it's kind of like you take their healing journey and very personal to you. You make it personal about you. So it's a very unconsciously, Mars and Virgo can be very, very selfish in a sense, okay? And that's just, you know, to pay attention to, you know, because it's nothing wrong with wanting to honor yourself. But once I get into like the conscious side of both the Mars and the Venus and Virgo energy, you'll be able to see better what I mean, okay? So consciously, on a more higher frequency, the very powerful Mars energy in Virgo allows you to take the initiative to assist others, to the point where you are helping them straighten out their lives. You become like a problem solver in a sense. You allow yourself to share responsibility. I'm sorry if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes so I don't get lost, okay? Because I have a tendency to that I'm working through to kind of get lost. So neither here nor there, going back to it. Taking the initiative and helping others straighten out their lives is something that Mars and Virgo really channels on a more higher frequency, okay? Acting upon commitments, being more committed to your tasks, to your goals, to your soul tribe, to your family and your friends, okay? Really feeling empowered and sharing responsibilities with others, balancing out the scales in a sense, right? Overcoming the need to always be right, okay, and learning ways of how to be correct in a sense, or just not always being a know-it-all in a sense, or overcoming those energies. And the more you are on that higher frequency and higher vibe of Mars and Virgo, this actually will increase your energy to continue to move more thoroughly in the process of this change. You will have a lot of fire drive, more of that, I got a plan, I got a hit, you're really going after what's yours. You're committed to a task. You consider that you may not know it all, you may not always be right, and so others around you may be able to have some other ideas that maybe you don't have, and you can be open to hearing from them, or sharing responsibilities and coming up with ideas together to overcome any obstacles or anything that may be trying to keep holding you back into that lower frequency, okay? That just kind of like, if you know it all, then you don't really need your doors open to others to help you with anything, because you know it all, so you'll be able to get through everything, and that really closes up some doors because it's a lot of alienation, okay? And so now I'm gonna get into like the feminine aspect of Venus, okay? Venus being in Virgo, and what does that mean? And I'm gonna go on the shadow side, the unconscious side, the subconscious, and then I'll get into the higher frequencies of the consciousness, okay? So subconsciously, you can be self-defeating, okay, out of habits of just wanting, it's almost like Mars, where it's like demanding to be right. But rather than it being a demand to be right, like it is with Mars, with Venus on the shadow side, it's self-sabotaging habits so that you can look right in the eyes of society, or just portray a mask. Excuse the noise in the background. Portraying a mask, like an illusion of some sort of you being right and exact when it comes down to your social interactions with others, okay? That's a shadow side. Another shadow side is using relationships in a very selfish way, okay? Using people for just self-serving, rather than it being and like whole and completion and balance, okay? So Venus and Virgo can be very self-serving if not tapped into correctly, okay? Also, if you give into your fears, your service of how you may try to help others may not be accepted by others, because your fears are gonna like show more stronger than your actual service to others, okay? And that is going to make people disengage from you, okay? Just because it's gonna be that lower frequency energy. It's almost gonna be like, okay, well, this person really can't help me, so I really don't want to be around them, because this person is like just so scared of everything, or in a fear-based mentality, okay? Really trap mindsets in a way, rather than being open-minded and allowing the free flow, okay? Another shadow side is indulgence, like not only like just overindulging, because of your feelings, okay? But it could also be indulging in isolation, okay? Because Virgos are known to isolate themselves a lot because they like to kind of be perfectionists in a way. So with that, like they kind of just go, oh, I need to meditate, I need to think, I need to be perfect, I need to be perfect, I need to be perfect. And that needs to be right and perfect all the time can lead them to isolation. Okay, so with Venus and Virgo, that is something to be mindful of, okay? That you may overindulge in isolation or in feeling isolated, okay? Also, another shadow side of Venus in Virgo is engaging in the tendency to criticize and discriminate against others, okay? Being overly judgmental, just really feeling like you always got something to say about somebody and how they do things, because I mean, you may be perfect in your way and everybody else around you may need work, right? So it may be just stuff like that, a little bit gossipy and, you know, discriminating against others, rather than just like learning them in a way. So, last but not least, really just causing yourself to be feeling, alienation or feeling alienated due to lack of self-worth, okay? That is like feeling super depressed, because you know, aren't really tapping into your highest frequency. So consciously, on a more higher frequency, on a much bigger scale, this really allows you, with Venus being in Virgo, allows you to naturally tap into serving others. You're just gonna want to help other people. You know, if you're a conscious person, an aware person in a higher frequency, okay, you'll be able to see like problems around them, especially if your Mars in Virgo is balanced on its conscious side with your Venus in Virgo on her conscious side. That go-getter, let's really work and serve as a team, that masculine feminine energy is really gonna bring about like helping others and serving them in a practical way that is like really, it's practical and compatible with their ideas, with your ideas, with each other. You're gonna find satisfactions in your relationships with others, whether it's relationships with family, friends, or a lover, okay? Being more consistent with your integrity. You're really gonna show face as to who you are, where your heart and your value, where your heart lies, where stands. You know, what frequency is your heart vibrating on? What is it that you value? What is it that you love? Okay, that's really gonna show out during this time in a conscious way, that it can be serving to others as well. And then also a heightened sense of self-worth, because you'll be really tapping into that I'm helping others, I'm serving others, I'm not, you know, I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart because this is the things that I love and I value, and these people are meeting me at my frequency. And so by honoring others and honoring what it is that you do to help others, that is really going to heighten your sense of self-worth as well. Okay, adjusting relationships to serve as a whole union and balanced, okay, especially with Mars and Venus both being on the conscious higher frequency. You can really end up having a really healthy union and balanced union with any relationship, whether it's work, whether it's family and home, whether it's friendship, whether it's romance or sex or whatever it may have you, okay? And that's really gonna just show you where you can start making adjustments into your life, into your relationships, okay, and to bring that balance in a whole. So that's why I wanted to talk about both the conscious and the subconscious aspect of both Mars and Venus, because with both of those energies in Virgo at this time, it's really going to be pushing you to come into alignment with yourself, with your divine masculine and divine feminine, with your yes, this is going to bring unions together as well, but this is going to bring in your internal union, and wherever there are imbalances, it is going to show. And so these are just some of the characteristics that you can be mindful of, and if any of this resonates, take it and allow yourself to learn your energy, or know where you're at in a non-judgmental way, in a non-critical, not criticizing yourself and self-sabotaging, but rather taking these as lessons, and the characteristics as lessons, and growing so that you can serve yourself better and serve others. So I hope that this video made sense, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop that down below. I would really love to hear back from you. And I am going to continue to do more of these videos. I really hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you feel compelled to share it because you feel that it will help someone, please do. In the meantime, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do so now, okay? Get that little bell ringing every time I do a video. You'll get notified. And I thank you all in advance for this time and space. And namaste. Peace.